Dunkirk moved 339,000 people in 9 days. On September 11, 2001, the harbor at Manhattan moved 500,000 in 9 hours, and almost nobody remembers it happening. By 9:15 that morning, the lower end of New York City was already in chaos. Both towers had been hit. The Port Authority had closed every bridge and tunnel off the island. The subways had stopped. Hundreds of thousands of people were being pushed south, away from the smoke, until they had nowhere left to go. By the time the towers came down, a vast crowd had been pushed all the way to the southern tip of Manhattan and could go no farther. People stood on piers and at the rail of Battery Park, covered in dust, many of them barefoot. Some of them were preparing to jump in and swim. Then a voice came over the Marine radio. It was Lieutenant Michael Day, a Coast Guard officer on a boat in the harbor with no playbook for what he was about to do. Nobody had ever rehearsed an evacuation of Manhattan. Nobody had ever thought one would be needed. He keyed his microphone, and into the radio, he said one sentence: "All available boats. This is the United States Coast Guard. Anyone wanting to help with the evacuation of Lower Manhattan, report to Governor's Island." From every direction across the harbor, boats turned. Coast Guard cutters and police harbor units, yes, but also commuter ferries, tugboats, dinner cruise vessels, private yachts, sightseeing boats, even rubber dinghies. The Staten Island ferry turned around mid-route and came back. A wooden fireboat from 1931 came down out of an upper pier and started spraying river water onto burning buildings. About 150 different vessels answered the call. More than 800 mariners worked the harbor that day. Many of them stayed on the water for 18 hours, ferrying load after load of strangers to safety. There was no plan. There was a radio call and a crowd, and the boats made up the rest. By sunset, roughly 500,000 people had been evacuated from Lower Manhattan by water. At Dunkirk, in 1940, the British Armada that became one of the most celebrated rescues in history evacuated 339,000 soldiers from a beach over 9 days. The harbor at Manhattan moved more people in 9 hours than Dunkirk had in 9 days. It is the largest sea evacuation in recorded human history, and almost no one ever tells the story of it. The captains quietly went back to their docks and to the work they had been doing the day before. Nobody was decorated. Nobody held a press conference. They had simply heard a radio call, and they had turned.